Today, the world's largest consumer electronics show opens. What are some of the highlights? We have the details. Signs of a strong labor market, the private sector adding 800,000 jobs in December, the biggest increase in 7 months. And you may have to pay a lot of taxes this year if you scored big in the crypto market. So how should you get ready to file? We have advice. That and much more coming up on NTD Business. Good evening. Great to have you with us. I'm Paul Graney. Our coverage tonight begins from the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, officially kicked off today, where a new unexpected contender is joining the electric vehicle race. Sony showed off an SUV prototype at the CES show Tuesday. It's called the Vision S SUV. It has 7 seats and some 40-some sensors to monitor safety. Sony seems to be taking its automotive future seriously. It says it'll launch a new company in the spring called Sony Mobility. That'll be focused on turning its experimental prototypes into a commercial business. Another CES exhibitor looking to turn its dream into reality is Our Next Energy. It believes its car batteries are the solution to low-range EVs and the shortage of charging stations nationwide. Who wants to get stranded somewhere? NTD's Fake Quarter has more details on the new batteries.
Electric vehicle ranges vary from the 60 miles per charge EQ44 to the 400 miles per charge Mercedes EQS 450 Plus. But now Our Next Energy Inc., an energy storage company, has announced a battery that's gone through 752 miles on a single charge. Our Next Energy's CEO says they want to eliminate range anxiety, which holds back most consumers today. Michael Strong is an executive editor at the Detroit Bureau. Strong says it could be a game changer, but we need to take cost into consideration.
Currently, automakers are paying about $140 a kilowatt hour for battery technology, and they need to get that down to about $70 an hour to put it on par cost-wise with gas-powered vehicles.
Investors include Bill Gates' Breakthrough Energy Ventures as well as BMW. Lars Karlstrom is the CEO of Italvolt, which is building the first gigafactory in Italy. Karlstrom says we're going to see a lot more battery-related innovations in the next few years.
It's not just like the range itself. It's so many other things that need to work out also. The safety, the security, fireproof. It has to match in the platform of the vehicle that it will be adopted in.
Our Next Energy had installed its experimental battery into a Tesla Model S. They drove 752 miles through Michigan at an average speed of 55 miles per hour. Experts say electric vehicles will benefit greatly from longer range, especially because there's a lack of charging stations. Faye Quarter, NTD News.
And farm machinery maker John Deere unveiling a fully autonomous tractor at CES. The tractor can till a field without any operator. It has a computer inside and stereo cameras in the front and rear. You can even use a smartphone app to tell the tractor what to do. This is not a prototype. Deere will begin commercial delivery this year of over a dozen machines. It's also considering selling or leasing the technology or offering it to farmers as a package so they can upgrade their current tractors themselves. One expert says the self-driving tractors could be a big deal for farming. They can operate 24/7, sidestepping the worker shortage. He also said they'll be more friendly to the environment because they can use fertilizer and other inputs more efficiently. Deere hasn't said how much the tractor will cost yet, though. And tech stalwarts Panasonic and Samsung are presenting some handy new home technology at CES. Here's NTD's Andrew Thomas with more on that.
Right now, I had planned
Consumer electronics have been a big hit during pandemic lockdowns as people look to upgrade the tech that keeps us entertained and connected. Home tech brands want you to invest in their latest products. At a digital CES presentation, Panasonic displayed a smart inverter countertop microwave oven that works with Amazon's Alexa.
Forget digging through the garbage for the package you just threw out or frog jumping around the internet for instructions. Setting your microwave is as simple as asking you-know-who to soften 4 ounces of butter, defrost 2 pounds of frozen berries, or simply reheat leftovers.
But tech expert Jonathan Rubini was underwhelmed with the company's kitchenware consumer electronic offerings.
Great, okay, but this is stuff that we've seen for years, nothing new. So it was a little bit disappointing.
Another new device on display at CES is the Anine baby sleep trainer. Anine claims it can tell what is agitating babies by the pitch of their cry.
So basically our product Anine is an AI-powered baby sleep trainer. It's for parents to educate themselves how to treat babies right and make them go to bed early.
Samsung is also busy at the show. It has a new portable projector called the Freestyle. It can project up to a 100-inch screen. It's also a smart speaker with 360-degree sound and can listen to orders up to 13 feet away.
The design is really sleek and it weighs less than 2 pounds, so it's super easy to pack in a bag. And because it has a 180-degree cradle stand and adjusts the screen automatically, you really can set it up anywhere.
And are working to develop
Samsung also introduced a new washing machine. The company's bespoke washer and dryer learns about an owner's habits using artificial intelligence.
The smart washer gets even more customizable with AI. It learns and recommends your regular cycles and uses AI to take the guesswork out of how long to wash and how much detergent you actually need.
The Consumer Electronics Show exhibition floors opened Wednesday, even amid the spread of the Omicron variant. The show's organizers were anticipating between 50,000 and 75,000 attendees for this week's conference. Andrew Thomas, NTD News.
The Federal Reserve seems to be getting more hawkish. In its December meeting minutes released today, the central bank says it may need to start raising interest rates sooner than expected. Some say there's a good chance the Fed could start raising rates as early as March. It's worried about inflation. It could even start shrinking its balance sheet soon to take money out of the economy. The Fed has about $8.8 trillion on its balance sheet. After the announcement today, markets plunged after the sign of tighter monetary policy. The Dow fell 393 points, about 1.1%. S&P 500 lost 93 points, or nearly 2%. The Nasdaq today lost 523 points, up 3.3%. Massive drop for the Nasdaq. And mortgage rates continue to rise, hitting a 9-month high last week. Average 30-year fixed rate rose to 3.33%. That's the highest since April last year. Meanwhile, applications for purchasing homes dropped. Besides the rising interest rate, there could be other factors for that. For one, applications data can be volatile around the holidays, so there's still not enough inventory. Also, there's still not enough inventory on the housing market, could account for the lower purchases. But refinance applications also fell. That could mean the rate increase is discouraging loan applications. We'll keep an eye on it. No problem in the job market. Private sector adding over 800,000 jobs in December, the fastest growth in 7 months, also more than double economists had predicted. It was led by the service sector with 669,000 new hires, but goods producing side also showed some good growth. Unemployment dropping from its pandemic high of almost 15% to a little more than 4%. What a turnaround. But still remains above pre-pandemic levels. And no unnecessary meetings, more productive at work, and a better work-life balance. How do those sound? They are some of the reported benefits a startup has found when it comes to a 4-day work week. So, is this something your company should be exploring too? NTD's Evelyn Lee has more.
E-commerce startup Bolt is switching to a 4-day work week permanently. It tried it for 3 months and says staff felt more productive and had a better work-life balance.
And their CEO has been quoted as saying they prefer to work as lions in 4 days as opposed to graze like cows over a period of 5 days.
Bolt CEO Ryan Breslow says that 94% of the team is in favor of keeping the shorter work week. So is this something your business should explore too?
Today, the employees seem to have the upper hand. They
It's hard to get good talent, and you need to differentiate yourself if you want to do that.
Part of it is to listen to the employee and be flexible. Harley Lipman, the CEO of a human resources company, says that the nature of Bolt allows for a shorter work week. And Debbie Yedigari, the CEO of Village, thinks that it's not necessarily the perfect solution everywhere.
When you have a company that might be more focused on client work or sales that need to be spread out over the entire business week, it might be a little bit more difficult. Again, it doesn't mean that it's not possible. It's just thinking through those hurdles.
She says while there are different workarounds, it really depends on what the profession is. Similarly, both agree that employee preference on that may differ as well.
Some people will say that if you work at home, it's a job. If you're in the office 5 days a week or 6 days a week, it's a career. So you have some industries that are fiercely competitive.
He says sometimes you have to be in the office to be seen and get that promotion. Yedigari says if your company is able to take advantage of a shorter work week, make sure to set clear and concise objectives to the employees. In that case, communication is key. Evelyn Lee, NTD News.
And after making a splash with the new Crypto.com arena, along with flashy commercials starring Matt Damon, Crypto.com is making headlines again today, managing to get 2 of its ads banned in the United Kingdom. The advertising regulator there said the 2 Crypto.com ads were misleading and irresponsible. One newspaper ad said, "Buy Bitcoin with credit card instantly." Regulators say that encourages consumers to use credit cards, bringing along higher interest rates and other fees. The second ad was on a cell phone game that marketed a certain percentage of return when the fine print showed a higher number instead. The regulator said both ads were taking advantage of inexperienced consumers who don't really deal in crypto. Just last month, other crypto sites such as Coinbase and eToro also had their ads criticized by UK regulators for not clarifying the risks of crypto investments. So if you're one of those crypto noobs or crypto veterans who made a killing off the crypto craze last year, don't celebrate too early because many will have to pay hefty taxes on the crypto gains. NTD's Phil Zoe explains.
After a record-breaking year for crypto, many investors and traders may soon face a large tax bill.
In the tax world, we really have to be ready for this now.
A lot of people actually owed a lot of taxes in 2021 because cryptos went up so much.
Anytime you trade one cryptocurrency for another, that is a taxable event.
Crypto editor Keegan Francis says when you part ways with crypto in any way, a capital gains calculation will be made.
It can mean anything from a transfer from you to a friend or even a transfer from you to yourself, as all cryptocurrency transactions incur a small transaction fee to a large transaction fee.
The same applies when you trade crypto.
When you take Bitcoin and you convert it to Ethereum or Dogecoin or anything else, that you have created a taxable transaction.
A lot to keep track of, but there are crypto apps that can help.
We all want to save the most, but we don't want to spend gobs of time dealing with stuff that we don't understand.
From CoinTracker to Flyfin, tracking your trades, gains, and losses.
Cryptocurrency tax tracking software has been a big benefit to simplifying my life, and they deliver a consolidated tax report, which is very easy, and I hand that to my accountant.
Experts recommend starting early.
Don't wait till the end of the year. Don't wait till April 15th.
Actually go and take a look at it because the IRS may actually owe you money on your cryptocurrency, if you can believe that.
The younger the individual, the higher the statistic is that they think that they don't need to pay taxes on Bitcoin.
My advice to everyone in crypto land is to just go ahead and swallow that frog and pay your taxes on the year they're due and sleep easy at night.
Phil Zoe, NTD News.
So joining us is Anthony Jang, successful entrepreneur and investor, now the CEO of VinoVest. It's a wine investing platform. It'll handle everything from finding your perfect wine to storing it for a little as $1,000 as part of its starter package. Anthony, great to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here, Paul.
Anthony, from following your work, it seems like fine wine, like other investment products throughout the past 2 years, has performed pretty well. What are some of the key trends you've seen over the past, I suppose, since the pandemic began?
Yeah, so really the key trend that we've seen since the pandemic began has been that people are looking more for alternative asset classes. outside of the stock market, many are looking for ways to diversify and protect their wealth in addition to building it. And wine, because of its low correlation to global equities, as well as the fact that it's a tangible asset and has proven to be a hedge against inflation, has been a really popular new asset class that new investors have been turning to.
Who's been coming in? Is it younger investors? Is it older investors? Or can you even profile them?
Yeah, I would say our typical investor, they're about, I would say, between 35 and 50 years old. So not totally new to the market. They've got their stock portfolio, they've got their 401k, but they may be newer to alternatives. Maybe they dabbled in some real estate or crypto, but they're not full-fledged wine collectors or aficionados, and this is their first wine investment they're making.
How high touch are they? Are they coming in and they want to learn a lot about wine and they want to really get into the weeds, or are they like, okay, this is purely alternative investment, I just want to see the numbers at the end of the quarter or the end of the year?
Yeah, so most of them are that numbers person, right? Like they may enjoy a glass of wine or two on the weekends, but they're not wine aficionados. They come to us and they're like, I don't care if it's white or red, as long as it makes me the green, we are all good to go.
For you guys, is there specific categories of wine that you're looking at? And do you look at it the same way you look at a stock or a bond and kind of analyze supply and demand, or?
Absolutely. We look at things like, what is the starting supply? What is the projected yield curve when we're thinking about the wine as it ages, as consumption takes away that initial supply, and what does that initial timeline look like in relation to what you as the investor want? Because similar to bonds, there are wines that we can hold for 10 years, there are wines that we can hold for 15, even 30 years. And we want to be able to tailor the portfolio that we're creating for these clients to what they want out of their portfolio, right? So if you were a 5-year investor and someone else was a 20-year investor, even if you came to us on the same day, put in the same dollar amount, you would get a completely different portfolio of wines because of that.
Super interesting. You're a crypto guy as well, right? Any overlap here between the two?
So I think there are a lot of similarities from a fundamental standpoint between crypto and wine. It's supply and demand, right? It's fixed supply. You can never go back in time and create more Bitcoin. You can never go back in time and create more, 2010 Chateau Lafite, for example. So in those ways, they're both a store of value. They're both deflationary assets. And with VinoVest, we want to be able to be accessible for anybody, anywhere to be able to invest in wine. And for us, that meant accepting cryptocurrencies. So last year, we became the first wine investment company to accept cryptocurrencies. We accept most of the major ones. I believe we take more than 10 or 15 now. So we have a lot of folks from the crypto side who are looking to spread around their profits, especially after last year, and dump them into something a little bit more stable like wine.
That's a community to get in with. Anthony Jiang, VinoVest, appreciate it. Good work. Talk soon.
Talk soon. Thank you.
And the so-called bond king is warning about the risk of investing in China. Jeffrey Gundlach, founder of Double Line Capital, says China is uninvestable, in his opinion. He told Yahoo Finance he's never invested in China, long or short, because he doesn't trust their data. He also doesn't trust the relationship between the U.S. and China. He says investments in China could even be confiscated. Chinese regime has been clamping down on some of its biggest companies. Just today, authorities slapped fines on 3 tech firms, Alibaba, Tencent, and video sharing site Bilibili, saying they violated antitrust laws. The clampdowns are putting pressure on Chinese stocks. One index that tracks mid and large cap Chinese stocks dropped about 50% last year. With that, we take a quick break, but still to come. Starbucks bringing back a fan favorite this week, but it's only returning to the menu for a limited time. And demand for private jets is soaring. What does that mean for the new and used aircraft market? We hear from a private jet charter company. That and more coming up in NTD Business.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure is 100% private and does not collect or sell any of your personal data. Secure's Helix technology connects you securely to our Swiss servers without the need of a VPN, guaranteeing privacy and security for all your communications. Secure Messenger doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. Chat by Invites allows you to chat privately and securely with anyone outside of your secure network without the need for others to download Secure. Secure Send offers you a private and secure way to email anyone outside of Secure. You won't find this level of privacy or security on any other email or instant messaging application. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
You are not just watching a performance. You are witnessing a culture reborn. Now, you'll see what the modern world has never seen. China, before communism. Shen Yun 2021, live on stage. Get tickets now at shenyun.com.
Someone has to find a way to build the Great Dome. Completely new, completely original.
Welcome back. And the menu at Starbucks just got a little greener. It says it's bringing back its Pistachio Latte for a limited time only. Starting this week, lovers of the green nut can go to any Starbucks location in the US or Canada and order it. Pistachio Latte features espresso shots, steamed milk, and sauce made with real pistachios. It's topped with a salted brown butter topping. The drink can be ordered hot, iced, or blended, but Starbucks says the seasonal latte will only be available this winter. Demand for private jets has shot up since the start of the pandemic so much. Now, business aviation companies in Austria are reporting they're unable to buy new or even used aircraft because they're in such short supply. NTD's Andrew Thomas has the details on that.
While commercial airlines are still below their pre-pandemic levels, some private aviation industry operators say they're experiencing high demand.
At the moment, it is very hard because of the pandemic to get airplanes. As an aircraft operator, as an airline in the business of aviation, we have to realize that the market is empty. Secondhand airplanes are not available, and even new orders take 2 to 3 years at the moment.
Overall, avoiding crowds, being able to pick your destination, and saving time added to the attraction of private business travel. Since fewer scheduled flights are being offered, having to wait for connections can lead to a lot of wasted time. The chief pilot at Oyster Jets says that the top management from small and medium-sized enterprises have discovered flying private can be a much quicker way to get from A to B.
For passengers to get up at 5 a.m. and come back 3 days later at 11 p.m. when they can do all that within a day with business aviation, this is our new clientele. It's a clientele that took the plunge, who understood that they would save a considerable amount of time, tiredness, and gain efficiency with this method of transportation.
Worldwide, the number of business jet flights in November 2021 was up almost 60% compared to the same time in 2020, according to WingX. And they were up 16% compared to November 2019, before the pandemic. Andrew Thomas, NTD News.
And in Japan, a bluefin tuna sold for about $145,000 in the country's first auction of the year today. After years of record prices before the pandemic forced a drop in prices. In fact, the highest price came nowhere near the record high of about $2.9 million in 2019, according to a Japanese newspaper. Two of the top bidders this year eyed different fish, easing the bidding pressure over the biggest catch. Traditionally, the newspaper said this year's first tuna auctions ignite high-priced bidding wars because the fish are highly coveted as a sign of good luck. And winter means milking season for trout farms in Russia. One single farm produces a staggering 10 to 20 million fertilized fish eggs per year. Though extracting the eggs is no easy task. Let's see how it's done.
Adler Pedigree is one of the biggest trout farms in Russia. Ahead of spawning season, trout breeders are busy selecting fish from over 130 specialized ponds before milking them indoors for eggs and other products.
That is selective breeding work. We receive fertilized eggs to sell to other farms that can provide incubation and the facilities to grow fish. Also, we produce caviar for food purposes. Everything that is not suitable for fertilization, we salt and produce for selling as a finished product.
1 month before milking, farmers stop feeding the fish and transfer them to water at a lower temperature, from 60 degrees Fahrenheit to around 50 degrees. The process mimics what happens in nature. Later in the indoor reservoir, skilled workers anesthetize the fish to extract eggs. They do this by squeezing on their abdomens.
We visually check the quality to see if it's good for breeding. If the caviar is good, we put this caviar into a special jar. We collect caviar from 3 to 4 fish, around 15,000 eggs in each jar for eventual fertilization.
Putting pressure on the fish's stomach without harming it is difficult, so only very skilled workers can handle the job. As for the eggs getting fertilized, fish sperm get added to the eggs. Then the solution is mixed in a clockwise direction.
In 10 days, we see how the caviar was fertilized, but now based on the amount of foam, we can say that the movement of sperm is very good and the percentage of the fertilization will be high. We can determine that visually at this stage. The more foam, the better the fertilization.
Trout milking season lasts from fall to spring. Every year, the trout farm harvests 10 to 20 million fertilized eggs, obtained from more than 1 million fish living there.
That's the latest business updates for today, but you can still catch NTD Evening News with Chenny Wu, starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. For NTD Business, it's all for today. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Did you know YouTube only keeps selective videos on its platform? So if you want to make sure you get the full picture, just subscribe to our newsletter. Go to newsletter.ntd.com and sign up. It's free.